The DeEsser insert on the M32 and X32 series of consoles is awful. I'm not trying to provoke anyone, but if you used it before, you know that it either doesn't do anything at all or it completely chokes the signal. There's no in between. You don't have much control. And in the past, I made a video showing you how to use the built-in channel compressor and sidechain it to another channel to do the de-essing that way. But let's say you don't have one extra available channel. What should you do? Do you have one available slot for an effect? Yes? Good. Should you use the DeEsser insert? No, absolutely not. I'm still 100% against it. There's zero benefits to using that insert. So what should you use instead? The Combinator. What is the Combinator? It's a multiband compressor. But why a multiband compressor? Let's think about it. What is the DeEsser? It's a high frequency limiter. Okay, good. What is a limiter? It's a high ratio compressor. So the Combinator allows me to compress only a certain range of frequencies, and I can set the ratio to a high ratio, and I can set the threshold and the gain. I have all the controls I need. So the Combinator is basically many fancy DeEssers together. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all the parameters on the Combinator insert because I'll admit it's not very user-friendly. It's a bit confusing the way it's laid out, but we'll walk through it. And I'm not going to explain compression from scratch. So if you don't know how compression already works, click on this video right here where I explain everything in detail. Okay, let's go to effects. And I'm gonna use the first 4 effects and not the second 4 effects because the Combinator is only here. You can't find it on this side. So I'm gonna go to the 4th effect. I'm gonna select the Combinator and I'm gonna select the dual Combinator because then I can use it on 2 different channels separately. So it's basically 2 effects in one slot. If you have a stereo signal, you can use the normal Combinator. I'm going to use the dual Combinator, and right here where you select where you want to put it, because this is a send and return kind of effect, you're going to have to insert it a bit differently. So I'm going to go all the way to beginning and say that it's an insert, because you can't select the channel from here. Insert, insert, and now I'm going to go to the vocal channel, go to the home page, swipe over to the config page, and right here you have an insert section. So I'm going to select effect 4. This is the Combinator. You can see right here it's now on channel number 13. So I'm going to edit that, and let's start with the controls. The mix, that's pretty obvious. It's how much of the effect is in the signal. So if you want to do kind of parallel whatever processing, you can do that, but leave it at 100% for the full effect. Attack and release, these are global attack and release for the entire insert, so not each band individually. This is for all the bands together, okay? And SBC right here, you can see speed SBC, that's spectral balance control. It basically means that it's kind of an automatic thing to find the correct level for all the bands to balance them out, so there's no one band that's sticking out too much. I don't really like to use anything that's automatic. I like to have control. So you can either turn it on or off from here. SBC on means that this knob is working. Off, you are bypassing it. Okay, and also the release, you can either have auto release, let the mixer figure it out, or you can turn off auto release, and now you have manual control over the release time. Now, the crossover right here, as you can see, is how many frequencies each band affects. And the thing that I don't like about it is that all the crossover points are linked together. They are proportional. So if this is getting bigger, all the other are getting smaller, and vice versa. I wish you could do each band individually, independent from the others, but you can't. It's fine. Now, right here under the crossover, you can see 12 dB and 48 dB. This is the slope of the filter. So 12 dBs per octave is kinda gentle, so the bands affect each other to a certain point. 48 dBs per octave is much steeper, and the bands are much more independent from one another because there's not much crossover between them. Ratio. This ratio is also global. This is not for each band individually. This is for all the bands together. Okay. Now, if I go to the second page right here, the threshold is also for everything together, not each individual band. This is a global threshold. And the gain or makeup gain, trim, whatever you want to call it, this is the output gain of the compressor. So if you look at another compressor, this would be the gain right here, okay? And the ratio would be that ratio. Cool? Let's go back to the Combinator and continue. Band select. Right here, you can select which band you're working on, and the colors correspond to these colors right here. This is the threshold for the band now. This was for the entire insert. This is for the individual band. And this is the gain for each band. You can see it goes up and down. It's kind of like a fader if you want, or like in EQ, how an EQ works. So you select a band and then you just raise it up or down. This is what it's doing. You still with me? Good. Because right now it's gonna get even more confusing. Right here, it says band lock, right? So what would you assume that button should do? It's called lock, right? So if I press it, it should not allow me to make any more changes to the band, right? No, this is a bypass button. This disables compression for this specific band. And the bypass right here, it's the deactivate button for the whole insert. So what's called bypass right here is that, to deactivate the whole insert. And this right here, that is called band lock, deactivates only one band. It's not locking anything. You can still change things. It's just bypasses, deactivates the specific band that you have selected. Okay, now, a good feature is the band solo, because you need to listen to what's going on. So you can click that and you will hear in your headphones only what's going on in that band. So you can set the correct crossover point and find the right frequency range that you need to work on. The peak meter only changes the layout here. So if you have it on, it will show you a full scale meter, like these meters right here. And if you have it off, it shows you the level, the gain of the bands. And of course, you can reset each band individually and copy from side A to side B if you're using a dual combinator like me. If it's stereo, you don't have that. If you're using a dual that has basically two effects in one, you can use copy A to B or B to A, whatever. And this is for the entire effect, okay? This is all the settings, not just one band.
Living in harmony, die in this harmony, never lose this harmony, die in this harmony, never lose this part of me, in this harmony, in this harmony, in this harmony, in this harmony.
I was also using the other bands to make the whole signal more consistent, because on this vocal, the mids were coming in and out. And I'll give you, by the way, the settings of this. I'll save it as a preset and give it to you, and also the entire scene, and you can download the multi-tracks so you can see exactly what I'm doing. But I'd advise you to use this insert not only to DeEsser, but also in conjunction with the channel compressor. So do the most of the heavy lifting of compression with the built-in channel compressor, and use this one on top of it to DeEsser and to control the mids and make your overall sound better.
Living in harmony, die in this harmony, never lose this part of me. Living in harmony, die in this.
And the speed of this is how fast will it change, will these dance around. So if it's slow, it will take more time to change the balance between them. If it's faster, it's more responsive. Now I know what you're thinking. Spectral balance control, it's an automatic thing. That's a great idea. I'll use it on my main mix. No. No, don't, okay? That's a very bad idea. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna go and find you and stop you from doing it. But I do not recommend doing it, because when there's a problem in the mix, usually the problem is caused by one channel. So go and find that channel and fix it there. And this, doing multi-band compression on your main mix, is a very cheap way to fix a bad mix. Just go and practice mixing. Also, this spectral balance control function, SBC, is great. I didn't think I would use it because I don't like automatic things usually, but this works really well. And don't go overboard with it. Don't set it all the way up to 10 and make it go crazy and start jumping around. Anywhere between 3 and 5 or 6 at most I think sounds good. Now, I talked in this video about the solo function, band solo, that allows you to hear a specific range of frequencies to work on it. What if you could do that on the EQ? Wouldn't that be great? Yes, but you cannot because there's no such feature on this console. But I found a way to do it. So click on this video right here to learn how to do a band solo on the EQ, and I'll see you in the next video.